What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another daily Manchester City transfer update. Before I do crack on with today's update, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day here on YouTube with all the latest City transfer news. Social media links are in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video. We're aiming for 300 likes, and don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the comments below. So we've got no contract news to speak about, and before we do speak about the outs, I have a very quick story in the ins. We're shaking it up. We'll speak about the ins first, and we've got the very latest on youngster Romario Collins. Now, BBC and Fabrizio Romano have both said that Manchester City have an agreement in place with Sheffield Wednesday to sign Romario Collins to their academy. Now, he's an under-15s talent. Not much else is known about him. We don't even have a picture of the player, but he is going to become a Manchester City player, and he will link up with the Manchester City Academy, and this is alongside Manchester City bringing in Caelan Cole-Cadamarteri from Sheffield Wednesday as well as part of Manchester City's Academy. City looking to target some fantastic next generation homegrown talents to add to the CFA. Now, moving on to the out, we've got the very latest on Finley Burns, and he has signed for Reading on a season-long loan. He's a 22-year-old English defender. He did spend last season in the Championship with Hull City, did struggle to lock down a regular first-team spot, so once more he's dipping back into League One, and he's going to be spending the season on loan with Reading, so wishing him the very best of luck. For any of you guys that are unaware, the Championship is Tier 2 here in England, so the division below the Premier League, where Manchester City play, and Reading play in League One, which is Tier 3, so a couple of divisions down from the Premier League and where City play their trade. Now, moving on, got another update on another City youngster, and it comes in the form of an update on Jadon Laianu. Now, the youngster is set to join Leeds United's academy for a deal worth all in just under £500,000. He's a fullback, 17 years old, and we are awaiting clarification on this deal and waiting for official confirmation for that transfer to be made official, and obviously leaving Manchester City to join Leeds United. So we're seeing plenty of movement when it comes to teams' academies. Now, moving on to more first-team players, we've got the latest on James McAtee. Mark Douglas has said that Everton want to make an ambitious move to try and sign James McAtee from Manchester City this summer. It is said that Everton are well aware of Manchester City's asking price of £25 million. They're well aware of plenty of interest in James McAtee, in particular from Germany, but Everton are being put off by this, and they do want to try and make an ambitious move for James McAtee, which, to be honest, going off Everton, knowing full well that the backs are against the wall when it comes to this transfer, and it's a difficult deal for them to get done, they'd have to look for some unique selling points, and at the moment, teams aren't in negotiations and making bids for James McAtee, so if Everton want to try and win that race, then they'd have to act quickly to try and get that ball rolling, to try and basically gazump everybody else out of the deal. So, to me, if they go near Man City's asking price of £25 million and they act quick, there's no reason why Everton can't make that signing happen, but it's all about the player and where does he want to play his trade, because I thought that James McAtee is pretty keen on playing in the Bundesliga, because he regards the Bundesliga and Germany as a fantastic place for young players to be able to prosper and be given their opportunity to develop and grow. So we'll wait and see, but if our Man City, from a very much a business point of view, sell to the highest bidder. Anyway, moving on, we've got the latest on Ilkay Gundogan. We were speaking about him yesterday, as it was being confirmed that he was on his way to Turkey, and it was believed that it was a family holiday, and his wife Sarah has confirmed on Instagram that it is indeed a family vacation for Ilkay Gundogan, his wife and his children as well, and it's not thought that he is in Turkey right now to try and sort out a transfer to another club. But that doesn't mean that Ilkay Gundogan maybe isn't trying to maybe just keep one eye on a potential move from Turkey, that whilst he's out there, if something it does materialise, he doesn't have to come all the way back to England, to go back to Turkey, to come back to England, to go back to Turkey, going back and forth if he is already there. So if any Turkish clubs do want to try and strike an agreement for Gundogan, you'd have thought that whilst he is in Turkey, that it'd make sense towards the end of his holiday for that to be sorted, so he isn't being messed around dealing with 4.5, 5 hour flights here, there and everywhere. So we'll wait to see if there is any other news on in regards to that, but it is believed that it is just a family holiday as confirmed by Ilkay Gundogan's partner. Anyway, moving on to the final transfer, we've got the very latest on Nico Gonzalez. Nico G is what I'm going to be referring him to, so I don't get my tongue tied here when I keep speaking about him. So the Manchester Evening News have said that Manchester City do not plan to sell Nico G this summer, and the plan is that he's going to report back to Manchester City at the end of July, ready to start pre-season ahead of what's going to be a busy build-up to the start of the 2025-2026 domestic calendar. Now, Sam Lee has spoken on this today and said that sources close to Manchester City believe that Nico G is contemplating his future at Manchester City, but they believe that maybe isn't so true, and Manchester City's plans are that they're not going to sell Nico G this summer at the very earliest. So they're expecting him back in training at the end of July, ready to start the season. That's the stance coming in from the club, where we were speaking yesterday about the rumours and Fabrizio Romano putting his name on Nico G wanting to think about his future at Manchester City, and maybe just keeping one eye on the World Cup with Spain next summer, and he's got plenty of competition when it comes to defensive midfield and central midfield spots in that Spanish national team, and the best way he's going to have to get an official call-up with the Spanish national team ahead of the World Cup is for him to be playing on a regular basis. And I did say yesterday, and I'm maintaining my stance of don't underestimate the impact the World Cup has on players, in particular when they're thinking about their long-term futures and thinking that, I want to go to the World Cup. It's why Jack Grealish ultimately wants to leave Manchester City. Normally I'd say, the team's not going to pay his wage, they're not going to want to pay his transfer fee. It makes more sense for Jack Grealish just to suck up the next 2 years at Man City, see out his contract and then leave, but he wants to go to the World Cup with England, and World Cups happen every 4 years, and the creme de la creme when it comes to high-class football players. All football players dream of playing for their national team and playing at the biggest competitions and playing at the World Cup, and Nico G is no different to that. So he wants to be playing on a regular basis, and if he feels like he can nail down a spot at Manchester City and playing in midfield, then he would grab that with both hands, because that's his best bet of being able to go to the World Cup. But it gets more complicated in terms of the transfer, because it'd command a high fee, a fee that's going to put a lot of teams off, in particular teams in La Liga. I can't see any La Liga teams willing to spend the money to bring Nico G in, is why Man City didn't have much competition when signing him from FC Porto. So I just can't see that happening. Who's going to sign him? I can't see City selling to other Premier League teams. If he wants to go to the World Cup, then a move to Saudi Arabia is not going to make much sense. So it's all about what does Nico G want to achieve. And I feel like these rumours and stuff, and in particular with Fabrizio Romano putting his name on things, Fabrizio Romano's got excellent relationships with players' agents, and what will be happening here is Nico G will be putting his agent to work to just try and drum up some interest to see what it looks like as a potential exit away from Man City if he does want to potentially pursue that, which I don't think is going to happen due to numerous factors, including that of a lack of interest, the price and the length of time that Nico G has been at Manchester City. So I'd say that if he did want to leave, it's more likely it would come next summer rather than this summer in terms of the business side of things. But this is all down to what does Nico G want. If he does want to leave, he has to communicate to City that he does want to leave, and that would then change Man City's stance about their expectations of Nico G. Right now, Nico G hasn't told Man City that he wants to leave, and it's all just hearsay, and it looks like from the outside looking in that it's just an agent drumming up some interest to potentially try and get some more money here, there, or everywhere about. Is there other teams willing to pay more money to Nico G? Is he interested in their moves? Is the agent just trying to get himself more money in an agent fee? Is the player looking for a new contract? Going off the fact that he's only been at City 6 months, I doubt that it is a new contract. So it's all just a bit weird. if I'm being completely honest with you guys. So I am going to keep my eyes and ears open with this. As I said yesterday, I don't believe that there's no smoke without fire, and I do believe that Nico G, for one reason or another, has just maybe had one eye on the exit door at City for whatever reason, and so he's just using his agent to see if there is any possible hope of him leaving Manchester City. But for it to happen, it would take a big offer for Man City to want to sell Nico G, because City ultimately want to give players enough time to be able to embed themselves into the team, and to be honest, to do that you need at least a couple of years in Manchester. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but stands from the club, very much Nico G stays. Stands from Nico G's camp, well, we're awaiting further clarification on that. But as I said yesterday, and I'm going to say the same again, no smoke without fire, but I will be very surprised if Nico G does end up leaving Man City in this summer. I do suspect, and I do have a feeling that there is going to be maybe a surprise transfer of a player leaving City. I just don't think that player will be Nico G, but I could be wrong. So yeah, who knows? Is it game time? I don't know. People have been speaking about Pep Guardiola and squad fallouts, but again, I think there'd be more in the press about that, so I don't think it's that. I don't know. It's an odd one. It's a weird one. Not too sure what to make of it. So yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on that, guys, in the comments below. Don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up on the video. We're aiming for 300 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. We've smashed 45,000 subscribers now, so we've got no reason not to be aiming for 46,000 subscribers, so any help towards that would be great. And thank you everybody for the continued support on my channel. It is greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And I'll see you all again religiously tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.